Hey, welcome back to the second set of We Are Tacoma with the Takoma Park Jazz Fest and our night of soul and jazz, also known as the Winter Update Concert. I want to thank the people from We Are Tacoma again and the Tacoma Park Arts and Humanities Commission for getting this whole series going, and all the wonderful people with Tacoma City TV and everybody else at Tacoma, especially the administration. So we're going to show about 4 or 5 videos from this past June. We've tried to make really strides in hiring younger and younger artists because this area has incredible amount of jazz artists and artists of all stripes, and we really want to feature the younger people. And this first artist is really an amazing artist. His name's Mark Meadows, and he writes, he composes, he arranges, he teaches vocal music at the Duke Ellington School of Music. He was on the star of a musical a year and a half ago called Jelly's Last Jam, and the first time he'd ever acted, and he just knocked it out of the park. And so we're going to play a piece by the Mark Meadows group now. It's called Are You Reelin' in the Years?
Since you were 17, and all the years I've known you, I still don't know what you mean. That we can have the college stand and turn our life in band. Things that pass for knowledge, I can't understand. Are we really in those years? Stone away the time, gathering up those tears. Have you had enough of mine? Those years, they stole away the time. off of mine. Head on off of mine. Sing it. That's John Lee on guitar, y'all.
You might have recognized a couple of the musicians in that video. It's kind of a group of younger musicians, and they're all incredible. And like I said, Mark is just one of them. There's also another act, and the gentleman standing out front that just kind of sang harmony, he's also a rapper, and it's the first rapper we've ever had on the JazzFest. And he also was with another group, that the Jogo Project, but we're not going to show the Jogo Project. But anyway, so we're trying to make, bring jazz up to date into the modern age while still keeping, all the traditions and everything. So I'd just like to talk a little bit about the Takoma Park Jazz Fest. We're 22 years old. Our 23rd show is this coming June the 10th. We're the second oldest outdoor jazz festival in the area. And we're the largest free outdoor jazz festival in the area, even compared to the gigantic DC festival, because they charge for some of their acts. So I can, you know, shine my little badge on that. But we started off in Jecky Park, a very small area in Takoma Park. It's now changed names, actually, but we'd had 200 to 400 people for every show until we went to 2 stages, and that was going to be 10 years ago now this spring in 2008. And that's when I first started consecutively producing jazz fests in conjunction with the city of Takoma Park, and of course all the fine people in Takoma Park, and the wonderful Takoma Park TV, which if you just saw that video, you know they do an incredible job. I'd like to have just a little applause for Takoma Park City TV, because they just do an incredible job. They've won prizes for their work over the years, and just love working with them. So 10 years ago, the city asked us to go on to 2 stages in the main street of Takoma Park, Carroll Avenue, and so we did, and we did a little bit of New Orleans music, but we really like to do just about anything. So we have themes for different shows, and we kind of ran out of ideas for themes, you know, singers, trumpet players, sax players, piano players. Then we kind of ran out of instruments. So then we did no instruments, which was just basically singers and people that played their body and weird stuff like that. That wasn't one of our better festivals, but it was an interesting festival. And but since then I've been doing more social themes. So like 3 years ago we had Jazz for the Family, and we also hired a whole extra day of workshops for that show at Montgomery County, Takoma Park, Silver Spring, and they were all free workshops. We had clinicians in from as far away as Boston working with kids to show them how to scat sing. So one of the other unique things about our festival is we have posters, we have programs, and we have T-shirts, and they've all got one design. And I started this with the design about 10 years ago, or about 12 years ago in my high school where I teach. It's over in Rockville, because for some reason I couldn't get together with the people at Blair. But anyway, so every year we've had a student design our poster or picture and our T-shirt picture. And so a couple of years ago we had Jazz in the Community. It's all about jazz musicians here in Takoma Park. And we had 12 bands, and they all had at least one Takoma Parkan in the band. Several of them were all Takoma Parkans, and most of them were led by Takoma Parkans. They were all jazz groups, and there was many more out there than the ones we had on the show. So anyway, so for the T-shirt thing, I would go to the graphic arts teacher in my high school and say, we're going to have a contest. We want your kids to design the coolest T-shirt that can go with our theme. And so she had her kids Google Takoma Park, even though they're in Rockville and Potomac, and they found out about Roscoe the Rooster, who is Takoma Park's mascot. They found out about the Takoma Park logo, which is basically the rising sun. And let's see. Yeah, that about covers it. So anyway, it's just an incredible design. I mean, these are from like 11th and 10th and 11th graders, and some of these designs are just amazing, I think. So I really, I think we're really, promoting more than just music at our festival. We're promoting a little art, and also for 3 years we've had the Takoma Park Jazz Fest Film Festival with AFI, and we've shown only jazz documentaries. So we do a whole lot with this festival. I don't think a lot of people know that we don't do more than just that one show. We do a lot of other stuff. So I hope anybody that watches this show, please call us up and volunteer for the festival, because it's going to be a great one this year, and we hope to keep going far into the future. So anyway, so now we're going to show a video from a gentleman who's played on the festival many times. He's Takoma Park's premier jazz musician. His name's Chuck Red, and he had an all-star group this time. The drummers from Texas, the guitar players from Florida. I forget where the bass player is from, but anyway, they do a nice mixture of Caribbean and Latin music. Anyway, so this is Chuck Red and the USA All-Stars. Yeah, Chuck never fails to entertain. He's just an amazing musician. I'm not going to talk much this time. That, by the way, that name of that tune was Wave. Next group is Shannon Gunn. She is a lady trombone player, and we've had many, many great women band leaders and band members on the show. A couple of years ago, we also had, it was an all-women show, and almost all the groups were led by women. And Shannon has a small group here, but she also leads a big band called Shannon Gunn and the Bullets. So enjoy Shannon Gunn. Sextet. So Shannon's also an IT person, and she's helping us rebuild the Takoma Park Jazz Fest website, slowly but surely. But we do have Facebook, so look us up on Facebook. Please friend us, like us, whatever they do on Facebook. And of course, we're going to keep you informed what's going on. We're going to have a show of some type every month till June this year. That's my promise to the city. So anyway, we're going to close with an international artist. Actually, our first show, we had an international artist, Igor Butman. He was a really great Russian tenor sax player who's been the top Russian jazz musician for the last 10 years. He travels around with a big band in, huge 747s. It goes everywhere. So we were really fortunate to have him on the very first Jazz Fest. And we also had a local guy named Ron Holloway on sax. He didn't get to play because we got rained out, but Ron has played with everybody from Frank Zappa to Dizzy Gillespie, and it was quite wonderful to work with him, even though I didn't actually get him to play on that festival. So anyway, we're going to end up with a lady from Brazil who also lives in the area and plays here. She's got a great story. She wrote an album to go along with Brazilian poetry and became a big hit in Brazil and also in many other countries. And now she tours the United States and Brazil. Her name is Rose Moraes.
Era o mundo chegando e ninguém que soubesse que eu sou violeiro, que me desse amor ou dinheiro. Era um, era dois, era 100. Vieram pra me perguntar: ô, você de onde vai, de onde vem? Diga logo o que tem pra contar. Parado no meio do mundo, senti chegar meu momento. Olhei pro mundo e nem via nem sombra, nem sol, nem vento. Quem me dera agora eu tivesse a viola pra cantar. Quem me dera agora eu tivesse a viola pra cantar. Quem me dera agora eu tivesse a viola pra cantar. Quem me dera agora eu tivesse a viola pra cantar, pra cantar. Era um dia, era claro, quase meio. Era um canto calado, sem ponteio. Violência, viola, violeiro. Era morte ao redor, mundo inteiro. Era um dia, era claro, quase meio. Tinha um que jurou me quebrar, mas não lembro de dor nem receio. Só sabia das ondas do mar. Jogar a viola no mundo, mas fui lá no fundo buscar. Se tomar viola, ponteio, meu canto eu não posso parar. Não! Quem me dera agora eu tivesse a viola pra cantar. Quem me dera agora eu tivesse a viola pra cantar. Quem me dera agora eu tivesse a viola pra cantar. Quem me dera agora eu tivesse a viola pra cantar, pra cantar. Era um dia, era claro, quase meio. Encerrar meu contar já convém, prometendo um novo ponteio. Certo dia que sei por inteiro, eu espero não vá demorar. Esse dia estou certo que vem, digo logo que vim pra buscar. Correndo no meio do mundo, não deixo a viola de lado. Vou ver o mundo mudado e novo lugar pra cantar. Quem me dera agora eu tivesse a viola pra cantar. Quem me dera agora eu tivesse a viola pra cantar. Ponteio, quem me dera agora eu tivesse a viola pra cantar. Quem me dera agora eu tivesse a viola pra cantar. Pra cantar, modinha, pra cantar, modinha, pra cantar, modinha, pra cantar, modinha. Quem me dera agora eu tivesse a viola pra cantar. Yes!
Rosa Moraes. So this concludes the program for the evening. I hope people will want to join us this June 10th, for the 23rd annual Takoma Park Jazz Fest, and keep watching your papers. Keep listening to WOWD and WPFW, the radio stations. They will inform you what we're doing, and we'll see you around. Have a great evening. Thank you.